Meetings have been going great, and people are loving them. They're just really enthusiastic about the fellowship. There's a lot of people that came to our first one and have never missed one since.
There are a lot of people on this call. This is so fascinating.
Dorothy Buckler, and I have 16 horses. I know that's too many, but what can you do?
I heard about you guys through a Facebook ad, and just thought it was an awesome thing. And I'm always trying to share more about God and what he's doing for me anyway, so it fits in perfectly.
I'm actually in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Victor Mathis, charter member, mentoring with horses out of East Tennessee.
And so we've talked about having a name choice contest. So maybe we will.
Yeah.
He is a licker. You see him licking me?
It's a cool shirt you're wearing.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? I just got it this week. I ride mostly English, some hunter jumpers, dressage, trail riding, basically reliving my childhood.
And I think in order for us to be made in the image of a spirit, John says, God is spirit. Those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth.
This is worth double points. How many horses did Solomon have? If you're ever wondering, hey, did I actually do that? If you just scroll down, it'll give you sort of a feed, kind of like on Facebook, of every single thing that you've done.
She would like to boss them around. You're right. Here's the one that stopped the truck.
I heard about it on Facebook, and I'm really excited to just share the love of Jesus and the love of horses.
Ranch patterns and trail riding, and just really enjoying horses with some really good people. So
I've got to get my show points going. I've got to get with that. And I love your shirt, but we need an English rider.
Yes, I'm going to talk about that.
And this is my first time on with you guys, and I'm not a member. I'm just learning about your group. So
all right. Well, welcome.
I'm going to go. This is the neediest cat in the world.
It's the biggest cat in the world, unless you are a very tiny person.
Gotten away from God a little bit, and I'm glad to I've been looking at your association for a few weeks and decided, kind of join the meeting and see how it all was. And you guys are very welcoming. So it's awesome.
We're very glad to have you.
We're glad you're here. I got to have a little praise report. My phone notifies me, and we just had a new notice come across the top of my phone that we have a new member has signed up for the Christian Horse Show Association. And that's a thrill every time that happens. This association is going and growing, and God's hand's upon it, and the anointing is building. I think these Zoom meetings are really adding to the fellowship. This is not just an unknown organization that you read about online. These are real people who love God and horses just like you do. My name's David Davis, one of the co-founders of the Christian Horse Show Association, and I have always been a horse trainer all my life, trained and shown horses, and ever since I got saved at the age of 22, I've done my best to let my light shine for Jesus while I was showing horses. And I've always seen that there's a need for an organization like this with T-shirts and caps and jackets, so you can wear the logo and insignia at horse shows while you're showing your horse, and people would recognize that you're a Christian. I've always said showing horses is a good family-friendly sport. It's a good, clean activity to be involved in. And you can be out there showing your horse, but a lot of people don't know you're a Christian. But when you wear that Christian logo stuff, you can let your light shine, and more people will know that you're a Christian. But then the whole concept is based on, it's very simplistic. It's so simple, it's hard for me to get people to grasp it. You can show your horse anywhere. It doesn't have to be a specifically Christian horse show. You can show your horse at any horse show, send us the results, we keep track of points, and acknowledge a job well done by issuing World Championship Awards in the name of the Christian Horse Show Association. So there's the introduction to me, and I'll turn it over to Richard.
Sure. You can compete in we have 30 different categories, which is basically based on the rider and the skill. And we also have non-competing members. I'm sure, actually, believe it or not, about 60% of our members are non-competing members. And these are just people that love horses and love Jesus and just want to be a part of the family. So there's a lot of people that have horses or around horses and don't want to compete, but they still want to kind of they want to be part of the tribe, I guess. So we're glad to have them. And the merch and stuff, it makes for great witnessing opportunities when you're out, starting up conversations. and just getting heard so many stories of people that were, hey, what's that? I like your shirt, or what's that about? And getting to preach the gospel and literally changing people's lives. So yeah, just some business related stuff. I pushed out some fixes Tuesday and Wednesday. There were some people did not have nominate when their memberships reviewed, when they go to their member dashboard, their nominations were not showing up. So that should be fixed now. So if you've had issues with your nominations in the past, please go back to your member dashboard, log in. If you don't have nominations or you don't have the right number of nominations, please send me an email, and we'll get them fixed up. But as far as I know, everybody is fixed and running. Hopefully next week you'll be able to see where your standings are in your particular category. And you'll also be able to edit your horse and rider. Because we've had a lot of people that have kind of, when they set up their nomination, they set the picture wrong or they do something, and right now you can't go back and edit it, but we're gonna give that an ability. And so the way we do the miles and the minutes spent is you can track either the amount of time you spent training your horse or the amount of miles that you spent riding your horse. And we do have two sort of special categories where you can compete in those. And that's not broken out by like horse breed and stuff like that. There's just sort of one award for overall miles ridden. And so, but you can track your activity, keep your training notes, stuff like that, with your nominations. Currently, you can only do that as a competing member, but I think one of the things we're working on is being able to give the ability for non-competing members to still be able to track their activity and stuff. You won't be eligible for awards if you're a non-competing member, but you can right now, if you want to do that, you can just add an actual nomination and then you would be eligible for awards. So we're kind of debating on the best way to do that. We don't want to make it more confusing for folks. All right, I think that is it as far as business we'll also have we've got some updates coming to our rule book, which will be out in the next couple of weeks as well, which we will publish on the website when we get them. So we'll send out an email when that comes out. I think that's it. So I am going to turn it over to I never introduced myself. My name is Richard Varno. I'm the co-founder of the Christian Horse Show Association. I handle all the technical stuff. We have three horses and a miniature, and we've done mounted shooting and some stuff like that in the past. But right now we pretty much just enjoy having them. So that's where we are. Oh, that's the other thing I didn't talk about. Two other things really quick. One, if you have a horse related ministry and would like to be a special speaker, please go to the form. Please go to the website and fill out the contact form. Just right up in the very top menu, there's a contact us, and let us know, and we'll get you set up to be a speaker. And then also, if you currently put on horse shows, we are opening up partner clubs this year. And so we're going to launch those hopefully in the next couple weeks. And then where you'll get a banner, you'll get some ribbons. But we need to talk to a few different partner clubs about that to kind of figure out what the right parameters for that are, because every club is going to have a different number of ribbons and things of that nature. So we'll make some announcements about that. And then the last thing, what was it? Oh, if you are a member, we're going to be doing a mailing out, hopefully within the next 30 days. A lot of people have wanted stickers to put on their cards. So if you are a member, both competing and non-competing, you will get a mailing with a sticker and probably a discount on some merch and stuff like that. So please be watching your actual mailbox for that. And if we don't have well, you should have everybody's mailing address that's a member because we sent you a t-shirt in the first place. But if that was the other thing. If you were a non-competing member, a few of the membership, we had sort of the same issue that we had with the competing memberships where some of them renewed at 0. So if you signed up before today's date last year, you'll get your billing here in another week or so where your membership will renew. If you have signed up later in the year, it'll just renew on your renewal date. So if for some reason you did want to cancel, please go onto the website and do that before your renewal date comes up. That way it'll not, you won't get charged for something that you don't want to get charged for. But we hope you stay, and it helps the association, and we're preaching the gospel everywhere we can go. So now I will turn it over to our guest speaker, Miss Alison Boyd. She is founder of Wings of Hope Ranch and also runs the International Ranch Ministry Conference, which the Christian Horse Association is partnering again with this year. And Dave will be a speaker and a presenter there as well. So Miss Alison, you are always welcome and always a joy to have. So take it away.
Thank you. And how many minutes do you want me to talk so I don't run
You can go to the top of the hour. Just Bible study, talk about what you're doing, and just, if the Spirit's moving, you can go a little longer.
Okay, but I'm not doing the Bible study, right?
I thought you were, but
that's okay.
If you don't want to,
no, I'm happy to. I'm happy to.
Yes, and I mean, and most of our speakers, they kind of, as they're talking about their ministry, they're kind of talking about, you can either do a Bible study first and then talk about the ministry, or you can do both at the same time.
Okay, I can do that.
Whatever you prefer.
Okay, I'm just going to pull up something there. Okay, so yeah, Richard already introduced me. I'm a co-founder at Wings of Hope Ranch, and that is in Virginia, near Richmond, Virginia. And we have 10 horses. We have some minis. We have all kinds of horses. They're all rescues or rehomes, and we partner with our ministry horses to serve, we say, children facing challenges between the ages of 5 to 17. And it's a free program. And we are celebrating our 20th year of ministry. And it's just been a lot of fun. Trisha's on. She's our executive director. And about 11 years ago, we get a lot of people used to call us and say, hey, I want to do equine ministry. I want to do ranch ministry. And how can you help? And so we were talking to people and trying to help them. And that's how the International Ranch Ministry Conference was born, that we said, why don't we just try to get all these people together that are interested in learning about ranch ministry? And about 25 people from Virginia and nearby came for the afternoon, and we all just shared all of our best information and wisdom and things that work, things that don't work. And from that little lawn meeting, it grew into what we called the East Coast Ranch Ministry Clinic. And that went on till a couple of years ago. And then we started having people come from other countries like Canada and Australia and Norway last year. And so we changed our name to the International Ranch Ministry Conference because God is just growing this. I mean, my experience has always been, I feel like I'm just hanging on to Jesus' coattails. Like I barely have time to think about something and we're off and running, and I'm just trying to keep up with what he's doing. And that's how it's been with Wings of Hope, and that's how it's been with the conference. And I heard several of you mention that you were on the call last week with Kim Meeder from Crystal Peaks Youth Ranch. And going back to the beginning, Wings of Hope Ranch is a similar ministry to Crystal Peaks Youth Ranch. And we are one of those people that read Kim Meeder's book called Hope Rising and thought, I think I was made for this. I think, that this is what God made me to do. And so in 2007, a friend of mine and I went out to Oregon, and we didn't have a horse, and we didn't, just like you, Destiny, we didn't have a horse, we didn't have a ranch, we didn't have anything. We went out to Crystal Peaks and went to their conference, and just they shared everything that they were doing, and we came back and we told people that we wanted to have a ranch for kids and use rescue horses just like Crystal Peaks. And before we knew it, we had a horse and we had a place to borrow and use, to use her place until we could get a place, and God just kind of pieced it together like puzzle pieces. It was like you'd give us one puzzle piece and we would celebrate and rejoice and wonder what happens next, and then he'd give us another puzzle piece. And I think God sometimes does that, because if he gave you the big full picture of what you're going to be doing, you'd be scared or think there's no way, or I can't do that. So he, in his kindness, he doesn't reveal the whole plan um, right from the get-go. So that's kind of our story at Wings of Hope Branch in the conference. And at Wings of Hope Branch, our guiding verse is Psalm 91:4. And if you're not familiar with it, it says, "He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart." And we just envisioned Wings of Hope Ranch exactly that um, Jesus has us under his wings like a mother bird or a mother hen just kind of takes their wings and tucks us under there for safekeeping and is our provider. And we felt that way about the kids that would be coming to Wings of Hope Ranch, but now we feel it also about ourselves and about all the people that come to the conference looking for education and wisdom and fellowship. And so that's our guiding verse. And is anyone familiar with that verse? Is that something you guys all know? Oh, Louise, I see you raise your hand. Is that do you like that verse?
I say Psalm 91 every day.
Really?
Every morning I say that. I say Psalm 91.
How did you end up making that your daily
I was teetering on the verge of being a Christian, and I was going through a very, very difficult time with work, and I thought I was going to lose my brand new home and farm if I lost my job. And a very dear friend of mine who has been a Christian for a very, very long time was helping me through that. And she told me that I needed to say it every day. And so that's what I've been doing since then.
And how long ago was that?
3 years ago.
Wow. Wow.
We
That's
know
awesome.
we know it because Mom, Amanda Grace, someone Mom listens to, declares it over herself all the time. And so we started doing it before school, and Nathaniel has it memorized. My brother.
How old is your brother?
He's 11, 1 year older than I am.
And he's memorized the whole thing?
Yeah.
Wow. I need to get going. That's incredible. There's also a song, Victory Boyd. I don't know if you've ever heard her. She's a Christian singer, a Christian artist. She opened for Lauren Daigle last year on tour, but she has a song that's the whole Psalm 91, and it's in song. And yeah, you can find it on, YouTube or whatever. It's beautiful. So you can sing it every morning if you wanted. Well, and so I was going to tell you at our conference, we have a theme every year, and our theme this year is unity and community. And the reason why we picked unity and community was we just are discovering that there are a lot of people out there that have horses or want to have horses. And I learned from the Christian Horse Show Association people, David and Richard, that 60% of their members are just people with one horse that want to partner, I don't like to say partner with their horse for kingdom purposes. And we just think that's super exciting because that's pretty much what we're doing at Wings of Hope Branch too. And so we just want to help people do that. And so this year for the conference, basically the way it works on Wednesday and Thursday, it's the last weekend in September. We have a bunch of people, including David, coming, and we have 18 different pre-conference sessions. And those are longer. They could be for 2 to 5 hours. We have a couple multiple day ones that are all about equine ministry. They're all about horse training or working with people who have experienced trauma or addiction and recovery, equine programs, pretty much like anything. So you could come in early and take a class or two on these different types of topics. And I'll put the links in the chat so you guys can find them. And then on Friday night, we kick off the main conference. And that we do, we have a keynote speaker, and then we do praise and worship. And then all day Saturday and Sunday, we have 5 different spaces going on. We have a covered arena, an outdoor arena, a classroom, another classroom, and then we have another space called the Cowboy Camp. And so we'll have 5 different things going on every hour. So you'll be able to look at the schedule and look at the 5 different things and think, I want to do this one at 9 o'clock. Then I want to do that one at 10 o'clock, and so on and so forth. And there's actually 60 different sessions to choose from, and we have about 40 different speakers. So our little meeting on the lawn 11 years ago has super grown, and we have met so many amazing people all around the world that just love Jesus and want to share the good news and salvation message with their horses. So if you have no horses, if you have one horse, I encourage you to come and just figure out what passions you have and what the Lord is calling you to do. And I know, let's see, I was also talking to someone else. There's another group similar to the Christian Horse Show Association, and they're putting on the Equine Assisted Learning Summit, the EAL Summit. I don't know if you've seen advertisements for that, but we just met those folks, and they are working with all the therapeutic riding places. So like a lot of the people that come to our conference are from therapeutic riding backgrounds, but most of us are just, we say equine ministry. We don't say equine therapy because not all of us are therapists. So we just claim to be doing ministry. But the EAL Summit is kind of like CHSA, but their people are therapeutic riding centers. And we're really excited to partner with them because what we found out from that group is that none of the people in therapeutic riding really know each other or get together or work together. And that was kind of a dynamic when we first started, that a lot of the ministries didn't know each other or tried to stay separate, or thought maybe like if there wasn't enough resources for everybody to do this. And so we all know in God's economy that, if he wants you to do it, he's going to provide. And so we just kind of got all,
he will provide.
yeah. And so we just want everyone to get together, and we want to be unified, and we want to help each other and share our wisdom and experiences and things that we've learned, like, try to save people from making mistakes that we've made, and just share all the different resources that we have to, I saw someone put on the chat, where do you begin to start a 501c3 nonprofit? Where do you get insurance? Where do you, how do you raise money? I mean, all of those type of things. So that's pretty much what the conference is about, is just to help everybody learn and help them on their path to live out what God's called them to do. So, does anybody have any questions or anything they want to add?
Is there a virtual option for the conference?
There isn't, but that's a great question. In 2023, we did have a grant from the Leaps Foundation to videotape. It's very expensive, we discovered, to have somebody come and actually videotape all the sessions, but we did it in 2023, and you can actually find all of those sessions on our YouTube channel. If you go to Wings of Hope Ranch and search that out on YouTube, there's a whole playlist with all the sessions from 2023. I think there's like 25 different 1-hour videos on all kinds of things. And so it's just a free library. So it's like attending a virtual conference if you want to go look at that. But we aren't videotaping this year, just due to the expense.
Yeah, when you've got 5 or 6 different things going on all at the same time, that's a lot to do.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I will say one of the things that I heard about the conference was that you really don't get from a virtual perspective is just the relationships you build. the friendships you make, the the iron sharpening iron, as it were, and there that can't be replicated, sort of in a virtual environment. So if you do have the ability to get there, I guarantee you won't regret it.
Yeah, I think that's true. And over the last few years, we've been really blessed to have awesome praise and worship bands come. And it was actually super exciting. David brought his two horses and did some of the entertainment last year. And he was doing the Roman riding with his horses. And I didn't even know this, but I'm standing there watching, and the praise band started playing. Like I thought it was like recorded music that he planned to ride to, and then I realized, wait, the band is actually playing the music. And so David had gotten with them before and said, "Can you play this?" And it's like, absolutely. So it was live praise and worship music, and David was performing to that, and that was like, I was so delighted. I was like, I love this. I don't know, I didn't even know this was going to happen. So. We'd have great meals. We provide meals, and it's like almost like a family reunion now. People just look forward to seeing each other there every year.
So maybe we could hear from a couple folks that attended the conference last year.
Is anybody here that attended? I don't know.
I think is Mary here? Okay, Mary usually.
Oh yeah, Mary came. Yeah, she's not here tonight.
Oh, she usually is.
Yeah.
I thought I saw her on earlier. Okay, well maybe Dave could give a little perspective of what he thought of it.
Can you hear me? I don't think you
Yeah.
can. Oh, good. Okay. Yes, that song that we planned ahead of time. My horse knows how to rear up and walk around in a circle on both legs, on his back legs. And the song was pick me up, turn me around, set my feet on solid ground. So it was so appropriate to go with it. He also knows how to dance in place. And that song starts off with this drum beat that was really cool as he was doing his piaffe, is actually the dressage maneuver he was doing. And so it was a lot of fun. But I think the thing I want to speak to about the conference was the connections that were made, the friendships that were made, the relationships that were built. People have continued to contact me. Several people contacted me afterwards, and they wanted my trick horse training video because they want to learn how to make their horses do tricks. One thing I could say along those lines is that teaching horses to do tricks is a cool thing. And many horse show minded people think, no, tricks are silly. My horse is a show horse. My horse doesn't do tricks. But tricks do develop communication between you and your horse. They develop a submission on the part of your horse. And they don't do the tricks unless you make them do the tricks. People act like they think their horse is going to be doing tricks all the time, even though but you actually have to make them do their tricks. So in doing ministry with horses, tricks has really lent itself well to draw an audience and like, look at that horse doing cool tricks. And then you can minister to the people. Where always before I learned to do tricks, my focus has been reining. So I would make horses do sliding stops and spins and flying lead changes and all that stuff as a competition. And that's cool. But most of the places where I would go to do ministry don't have dirt that you can do sliding stops in. And so just simply doing tricks in a small area with no special kind of sand or has really lent itself well to doing ministry. So if anybody's interested in that, we do have trick horse training videos, but also come to the International Ranch Ministry Conference and I'll teach you live and in person how to make your horses do tricks. I always say there's 4 basic tricks that all tricks develop from, which is kneel, march or Spanish walk, side pass, and step on a pedestal. So I always present those 4 basic tricks at my presentations. And from those basic tricks, you can get even more creative and develop other tricks. As an example, my horse can step on a pedestal and bow on top of his pedestal, which looks kind of cool. He can also sit up on the ground like a dog and then do Spanish walk at the same time that looks like he's waving at the audience. So that's kind of cool. So there's something about seeing the horse submit to me and perform like that must soften people's hearts, because then when you present the gospel to them, they want to get saved. Sure, I'd like to go to heaven, and they receive Jesus as their savior. So it is a way to use your horse to uh, draw people to the Lord. One other thing I want to say on this note is that I did a ministry performance, and it was at an orphanage in Illinois that has a horsemanship program for their kids. And I love supporting those. That's the main type of organization that the Christian Horse Show Association wants to support, and we do support, is orphanages that have horsemanship programs for their kids. So I did one of those in Illinois. And one of the directors of the program there said, I use my horses in ministry all the time, but I've never seen horses perform like that. And so I say trick horse training is a dying art. A lot of people don't know what tricks horses can do or how to teach horses to do tricks, but you can do the simplest trick, and people just love horses anyway. And it looks so cool that it just softens their heart and draws them in. So that's one of the focuses of what I do and what I will be presenting at the International Ranch Ministry Conference, but lots of other things. And the emotional healing is one of the topics that I saw a lot of people addressing and showing us how they do that with their horses, which is awesome, which is not really a specialty of mine. Therapeutic riding is not a specialty of mine. Emotional healing isn't really a specialty of mine, although I know it does happen as people interact with horses.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
cool. Miss Allison, did you talk about the early bird pricing ending?
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, so we have it's $159 to attend the main conference. So Friday night all the way through Sunday afternoon. And that includes 4 meals and coffee breaks and all that stuff. So it's $159, and that's our early bird price, and that expires at midnight on May 1st. So if you're thinking about going, yeah, that would be a great time to do it and sign up. And yeah. What else, Richard? What other questions do you guys have?
Oh, one question everybody asks about is lodging, and how that all works.
Okay, so we're working on getting a hotel block where you can, Ashland, Virginia is our closest town. It's really cute little train town. It's about 8 miles down the road. So everybody looks for hotels to stay in Ashland or Airbnbs around Ashland, or campsites and things like that. There's a lot of options really close by to stay in, and everybody seems to figure it out.
Very cool.
Great. It is a fun time. I really enjoyed it, and
we're
coming back this year.
Absolutely.
Does anybody else have any questions about the International Ranch Ministry?
I think his connection cuts out, as it does sometimes. So what he was asking is if anybody else has questions. And the thing that came to my mind that I think is so effective is people had real questions about how to take their ministry to the next level. And it's impressive to me that that's something that can be taught. It just seems like a matter of fact. Well, you just do the next thing. But no, sometimes a little bit of advice or some kind of a structure or a suggestion can really help a person launch to the next level. And that's what I think Allison's calling is. I think you're a genius at observing what a person's doing and then tell them, well, okay, so then next you could do this.
Yeah, and I just feel like, my calling is to just help people, equip them, encourage them, educate them, and then just seeing patterns and things. I would tell you one of the biggest patterns I see with people that are doing ranch ministry is a lot of founders like myself. We get caught up in thinking that we need to do everything by ourselves, or think that we want, need to, that no one would be able to help, or we don't want to ask for help. And that's been a great learning curve for me, is to allow people to help and empower them to help, and just, not be caught up in thinking that I need to do everything. And God has brought people that have so many gifts and talents, and can do things better than I can do them. As a matter of fact, I was just telling someone, we operated Wings of Hope out of borrowed a property. We had a beautiful older lady that let us run the ministry there for 15 years for free. And as she was aging, we knew we needed to find what we were calling our forever home. And we finally bought a property in 2020. And I thought it was going to take us 20 years to build that place, but God had better, faster plans. And so for about 3 years, we worked on building what we now call our forever home. And what was super interesting is that I wasn't involved in the building process whatsoever. Like I wasn't on the committee. I did not make any decisions from like the color of things to whether we would have this or that. And it was just kind of like there was a reason, a personal reason I wasn't involved in that. And I really wanted to be involved in that, but I couldn't. And so that was all done without me. And when I walk in there, I look at it and say, I am so glad that I was not any part of this because it wouldn't have been half as nice. Like our old place didn't have a bathroom or hot water, so I would have been really satisfied if we just had a bathroom and hot water. And I walk in there and we have like HVAC and we have a wash stall with hot and cold water and we have, an oven and we have a storage area, like all the things I would have probably said, oh, we don't need that. We can get by without that. But other people who had bigger faith than me, they said, yeah, God's gonna provide that. And God's gonna, someone just offered to put epoxy floors in the classroom and, things that I couldn't have ever imagined. So, that's my kind of advice for anyone that's starting out is, empower and encourage the people that God sends you. Don't try to do it yourself because, it's almost limiting when you try to keep holding the reins really tight.
Yes, I so agree with that. And that is a problem area of mine. And one thing I would say that's a problem area for me is because when I've tried to depend on people, they let you down. So then, excuse me, do everything yourself. But you can't go by all those past experiences. There are people God will send that you can trust. Hey, so there's a couple of things I want to say here. One case in point is that when I was camping there during the 4 days of the ministry conference, that bathroom has such a nice person shower. You mentioned wash
Yeah,
rack.
see, I wouldn't have added the shower, so I'm glad you had a shower.
Ask about using that shower. She said, there's an example. I wouldn't have blown the money to put in a shower, but I'm so glad you did. It really helped facilitate me camping there.
Yeah, we would have had to hose you down if we didn't have the shower.
Yeah, we could have gotten by. But the other thing I want to say is that nice lady that let you use her facility free as you were getting ready, even though your son burned her house down.
Yeah, that's a story for another day. Yes.
You want to tell them a short version of that story?
Oh, well, yeah, it's a long story, but yes, the lady's name was Betty, and um she read the book Hope Rising. That's one of the puzzle pieces that when we met her and asked her if we could use her property for Wings of Hope, we said that Wings of Hope was based on this book called Hope Rising by Kim Meeder, and she ran the library at her church, and they had a copy of it there, and she had already read the book. So, God had already put this foundation down, so she knew what we were talking about. So she said yes. And so we operated off of her property, which she had her home and a barn and all that. But across the street, a little bit down the road, was the house that she grew up in. She was in her 70s when we started there, and she was probably in her 80s when this happened. But my son, who I have three boys, and my middle son, let's see how my middle son is a rebel and a wild child, and the good news about my middle son, is he just recently this last year accepted the Lord, and now all that rebellion and wildness is he's on fire for God now. So I'm so grateful for that. But back when he was in high school, he was into photography. He still is. That's what he does for a living. But he went out to take photos one night somewhere at a golf club. This is like a school night. It wasn't, I don't know. And so he came home and he had taken the photos, but he said it didn't work out where they were going to take the photos. And long story short, they had ended up at this old house up the road, and they had done these pictures where they they spun around this thing with that was on fire, and it was like to create this photo, which I've seen the photos and it was really cool, and everything was fine when they left this abandoned house. But during the night, one of those sparks went down into the floor of the house and it burned the entire place down. And yeah, it wasn't good because the house that they burned down was Betty, the lady that provided the free ministry for Wings of Hope Ranch. It was her childhood home. And yes, it was abandoned, but it was still really important to the family. So that was a really big trial for the ranch because the boys, my son, had to go over and tell her, that they were the ones who burned the house down. And so this is a great story about grace because I was thinking this is the end. This is the end of Wings of Hope. I mean, this is not going to be good. And she just exercised, she was upset. She was very upset. She exercised great grace and forgiveness and, did not, did not do, did not retaliate in any way and forgave them. And they had to work really hard that summer and they had to pay money and take care of all the things. And that was a great learning experience for them. But it was a great lesson for me about grace, being the recipient of grace. And so when I'm mad at other people or think somebody has wronged me, I often try to remember my good friend Betty, who exercised extreme grace on my behalf. So, yeah, I guess I told that story the last time I was on the thing.
Always,
Thanks for reminding me.
always sow grace whenever you can, because
Yeah.
someday you're going to need it.
Important.
That is awesome.
And the big impact in lives. I remember you saying that story. I think it was about a year ago when you were on here, and I remembered it ever since. Those
Yeah.
people listen to what we share.
Yeah. Well, I also flooded her. She had a little she had a little place that we had a bathroom. That's why we didn't have a bathroom anymore because I also flooded that when we were, as part of Wings of Hope. So she got to exercise extreme grace for me twice in 15 years. So
That's awesome. Does anybody, before we go to our trivia contest, I put the link in there, and the pin number. I see some people joining already. Does anybody else have any questions for Miss Allison before we go to trivia? Thank you again for showing up, and especially on such short notice. I was glad we could get you in, and we will have between now and the conference, a lot of the speakers of the conference will be special speakers at our Thursday Zoom meetings. So you're going to hear a lot about the International Ranch Ministry Conference this year, and a lot of the ministries that are associated with it. So always a good thing. Nobody asked your opinion. Sorry, feeding some dogs.
Hey, Richards,
yeah.
I'm seeing the link in the chat to the Zoom.
Pardon?
I don't see the link to the trivia game in the chat.
It should be right there at the bottom. Let me put it in again. Actually, let me share my screen, and then you can see that as well.
But thanks so much, Allison. If we are transitioning into the trivia game now, we appreciated you being here and appreciated your talk.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It was so nice to meet everybody, and I'll put my email in the chat if anybody has any questions.
Absolutely. And I gotta say, we've over the years that, the time that we've known Allison, so many times when somebody comes in and they're like, oh, I'm just starting out in ministry. I don't know how to raise funds. I don't know what to do. I need advice. Allison is the first person I hook them up with, because she is such an immense wealth of knowledge and knows how to get things done.
Thanks,
All right.
Richard. Thanks, David. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye. Thanks again for joining. All right. We'll give everybody a few minutes to join. You can either scan the QR code on your screen, you can enter the PIN, or you can go to kahoot.it or click on the link.
Where's the link?
I just put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat again.
Well, sorry for you to keep doing it. I don't see it.
Oh, maybe I'm replying to somebody I was replying to somebody, I think. Let me put it. Yeah. So here you go. You see it now?
Yes. I'm in.
Awesome. And I see that I just noticed that Sherry McGallard signed up as a non-competing member. So welcome to the family.
It looks like Stephen Mogul just entered the waiting room.
Yeah, ever since the ever since the time change, he's been showing up an hour late.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to, because they don't have daylight savings time in Nigeria, and so for everybody, Stephen is he does a lot of our video work and a lot of our Facebook work and graphics work and stuff like that. So he's it's about 1 a.m. for him right now. So you would think with the time change he'd be able to join a little bit earlier. So welcome, Stephen. We're actually just getting done. We're fixing to do the trivia contest. And I will say, if you are in the ministry or have any sort of needs around social media promotion or video production or anything like that, Stephen does. I've worked with Stephen on a daily basis for about, seems like 5 years now. Might not be that long, but several years. He does awesome work. He worked for my band. He worked for me when I was promoting Petra and doing Petra shows, and now he's helping us with the Horse Show Association. And he does sign language interpretation and the pastor of a church that we actually helped build over there. Now, still,
I think your connection's dropping. I hope we can hear you.
Getting that. Yep. Can you hear me now? Hopefully it'll stay connected for the trivia game. Can you guys hear me now? I'm gonna shut off my video. Maybe that'll help.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, I think everybody's joined. Is anybody else still trying to join the trivia contest? Speak now. And the way this works, we have questions about the Bible, and we also have questions about horses. You not only get points. Or nominations. And I will give 1 more minute and then we'll get started with our trivia contest. All right, let's get started. Welcome to CHSA Trivia for April 9th. First question. What is the name of the city to which...
Oh gosh, Richard, I think you just cut out.
Zoar, what is the name of the city which Lot escaped at the destruction of Sodom? Red, Golan, blue, yellow, Shiloh, or green, Kabul? What is the name of the city to which Lot escaped? Okay, and the correct answer, can you guys hear me all right?
It cut out when you said the correct answer, and I just got it right.
Hopefully the screen as well. And the correct answer is Zoar. And 4 people got that right. Let's see who got it right. Tom, Louisa, David, and Mel all got it right. And so they are 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. This one is worth double points. How many cities were given to the Levites for their use? Red, 12, blue, 32, yellow, 48, or green, 104. How many cities were given to the Levites for their use? Red, 12, blue, 32, red, 48. To answer, only 2 got this right, was 48 cities were given to the Levites for their use. And so if I didn't explain this correctly, every single question, every single answer has a color associated with it. So if you have the app, you just click on the color that corresponds to the correct question. Or sorry, to the correct answer. And Mel is now in first place. Horse Lady is in second place. You'll have to let us know who you are. So if you win, we can get you a prize. Just throw your name in the chat if you would. And then Tom is in third place. Miss Louisa is in fourth. David's still hanging in there at fifth place. Next question. Question number 3. What body part do horses communicate with? Red noses, blue tails, yellow ears, or green cell phones? What body part do horses communicate with? Red noses, blue tails, yellow ears, or green cell phones? And the correct answer is ears. I've often thought on our CHSA hat we should have like horse ears that stand up, and you could pull a string in it. They like flatten back. So if you were upset with somebody, you could kind of, give them a little. Give them a little, give them a little nudge there. Hang on one second. I need to open a door for a beagle. 1 second. You have beagles, you'll know they are very opinionated, and they do not they do not shut up once they get started. Beagle is from the French to bugle.
Oh.
All right. Mel has three in a row. I'm assuming that's Melissa. Melissa has 3. She's in first place. Horse Lady's in second place. Tom in third. Louisa and Miss Destiny now on the board at 5th place. Next question. This one is worth double points. Which 2 men hid in a well to save their lives? Red, Jonathan and Ahimaaz. Blue, Joseph and Reuben. Yellow, Joshua and Caleb. Or green, David and Jonathan. Which 2 men hid in a well to save their lives? Red, Jonathan and Ahimaaz. Blue, Joseph and Reuben. Yellow, Joshua and Caleb. Or green, David and Jonathan. The correct answer, only one person got this right, is Jonathan and Ahimaaz, which I believe was Jonathan's armor bearer. And Mel is still in first place. Tom was probably the one that got that right and is now in a very close second. Horse Lady, Louisa, and Destiny still hanging in there. Next question. This one's also worth double points. What queen of Bible times is described by the epithet that wicked woman? Red, Jezebel. Blue, Bathsheba. Yellow, Lydia. Or green, Athaliah? Which queen of Bible times is described by the epithet that wicked woman? Red, Jezebel. And nobody got this correct. The correct answer is Athaliah is described as that wicked woman. I believe it's in 2 Samuel. So standings are going to remain the same, and we'll move on to the next question. Question number 6. What are horses' hooves made out of? Red, hair. Blue, cartilage. Yellow, keratin. Or green, money? What are horses' hooves made out of? Red, hair. Blue, cartilage. Yellow, keratin. Or green, money? And the correct answer, 5 people got this right. Horses' hooves are made out of keratin. And Melissa still on top. Tom still in second place. Horse Lady, Louisa, and Miss Destiny still hanging in there. Next question. Question number 7, worth double points. What book of the Bible was written without explicitly mentioning the name of God? Red, Song of Solomon. Blue, 3 John. Yellow, Esther. Or green, Philemon? What book of the Bible was written without explicitly mentioning the name of God? Red, Song of Solomon. Blue, 3 John. And the correct answer, 2 people got this right. These are much harder trivia. I noticed that since my wife has been coming up with the trivia questions, they've gotten much, much more challenging. So if you have complaints, I'll give you her email later. But I think they've been really good. And the correct answer is Esther is the only book in the Bible that does not explicitly mention the name of God. Miss Melanie still on top. Tom still in second. Louisa still in third. Miss Marcia now on the board. And Miss Horse Lady is down to 5th place, but still hanging in there. Anything could happen. Just a few questions left. Question number 8. What other nation besides Israel is to be scattered to every people? Red, Babylon. Blue, Elam. Yellow, Syria. Or green, Nineveh. What other nation besides Israel is to be scattered to every people? Red, Babylon. Blue, Elam. 2 people got this right. The correct answer is Elam, is the nation that will be scattered to every people. Miss Louisa making a run from the back, now in first place. She's got 3 correct in a row. Melanie hanging in there at second. Tom, Marcia still on the board, and Miss Horse Lady still on the board. Next question, just a couple left. Anything could happen. Question number 9. What color or breed of horse might have a striped hoof? Red, Pasifino. Blue, Irish Cob. Yellow, Appaloosa. Or green, Missouri Foxtrotter. What color or breed of horse might have a striped hoof? And the correct answer is Appaloosa. 6 people got this right. And let's see who is on top. Miss Louisa still on top. Tom has moved into second place. Melissa is now in third. Marcia's still hanging in there. And Freedom Riding is now on the board. You will also have to tell me your name if you are in the top 3, so I know who to send the gift cards to. Actually, I know who Freedom Riding is. It's the person who said their ministry was Freedom Riding. So let's go. Last question. This one decides it all. Worth double points. Who was the first Christian convert in Europe? Red, Lydia. Blue, Phoebe. Yellow, Priscilla. Or green, Salome? Who was the first Christian convert in Europe? Red, Lydia. Blue, Phoebe. Yellow, Priscilla. And everybody's answered. The correct answer is that right? Lydia. Yes. Let me double check and make sure that I did that right. Hang on 1 second. Yes, Lydia, Acts 16:14. Lydia was the first Christian convert in Europe. 5 people got this right. Let's see who won. The winners. In third place, Tom. In second place, Miss Marcia. Quick run. And in first place, our new champion, Miss Louisa. So all 3 of you will get $10 gift cards. Our runners-up are Melanie and Freedom Riders. Riders, whatever the name was. Thank you guys for playing.
I thank God for giving me a dream to keep me living right. Give my life a purpose so I can fight the good fight. Trying to be the best that I can keeps me on the right track. Now that I know that I've chosen the right way, I could never want to turn back. Now that I know that I've chosen the right way, I could never want to turn back. Jesus, I could never want to turn back.